What's up, guys? My name is Khan and we're back today with more Scrap Mechanic, and today we're doing something again with explosives. But I was playing around with the challenge parts mod, and I noticed one thing that's kind of interesting about the challenge parts is that every part in the challenge parts mod is invincible. So if we have a simple setup like this, where we've got the explosive spawner over here, we've got our button over here because the button isn't in the challenge parts mod, but if we spawn our explosive, it'll spawn on top of the spawner, no problem. And if we spawn another one, they'll spawn in each other and they'll explode, but none of the parts here will, because these are all part of the challenge parts mod. So I thought, could we use this and make a giant hammer? So the normal hammer, you know, can only destroy cardboard and stuff, but what if we made a hammer that spawns a bunch of explosives, and at the last second, right before it hits the ground, it spawns all these explosives and basically acts like a hammer, looks like a hammer, but really the explosives are doing all the work. So if we take this and we weld it up like here, but upside down, okay. You know what? Let's just test this real quick and see if this is even gonna work. I actually had zero pre-testing to this. All right, there we go. So we've got our seat. We've got two buttons. We'll hook one up into the motor. We'll just reverse the direction for now. Excellent, and then we can flip that the other way. We'll hook that up to number 2, and then number 1 will hook into the spawner. So obviously we're gonna have to set this up with some sensors to kind of automate it a little bit. Now, the sensors, again, are going to be explosive, so we're gonna have to somehow mount them to the handle. But let's see if we spin this up. It's hold 1. Oh, we gotta flip that again. Hold 1, and then press 2. Oh, that explodes. That explodes mid-air. That's not good. I wonder if this will work, so when the arm rotates all the way around, it'll see the sensor right here at the last second. Because if we put a sensor here, we can do that right now. It's just gonna explode when the explosive happens. So we can only use parts from the challenge mode to do this. Although the challenge mode does have a big sensor. So maybe we could actually use the big sensor on the hammer, and maybe the big sensor doesn't explode. Let's try this first with the sensor on the arm, and then we'll try putting a big sensor here, because you really want the explosive to spawn right before it hits the object. So let's see what this does first. See, that kind of works. That's actually not that bad, but I feel like the problem here is, what if the hammer hits something up here? The explosive won't have spawned yet because the hammer's gonna hit something way up there. So that's a problem. So you know what? Let's try it with the big sensor and see if we can get this thing to work. So here's a big sensor. We need this going through a tick button as well, actually. But we can put the sensor there. The tick button could be way back here because we only want it to spawn once. I don't know the range on this sensor, though. Like, there's no input to set. Is it just infinite range? Because that would be a bit of a problem, wouldn't it? What is it even sensing? What? I don't think the big sensor works at all. I have one other idea which could possibly work, because if we make this hammer big enough, we'll be able to have the sensor super, super far into it. So I feel like if we make the hammer really, really deep, right? And let's just move this up a little bit more here. And we move it way, way back like this, for example, and we put just a vanilla sensor way back here looking through that hole at a range of 20. If we activate the hammer, okay, it spawned the explosive under the ground. All right, so I guess we should check what the range on the sensor actually is. If we rotate this down a little bit, how long until it's slowly falling? You know what? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, does it? How long until the sensor actually picks up the ground? We need it to spawn the explosive. Oh, see, that's actually pretty good, but it's not, I don't think it's early enough. It needs to spawn it earlier so that the explosive slams into the ground rather than spawning through the ground. So let's just move this whole apparatus down a little bit. And if we put our sensor here, it should still be out of range of the large explosive, so it shouldn't go off. Perfect. Here we go. Hammer. No, it still spawns it below the ground. All right, attempt number something. Here we go. Test. That kind of worked. See, that worked. The hammer hit and the explosive kind of spawned inside of everything and blew up. So that should be perfect. And it didn't actually break the sensor. That's so awesome. We're gonna blow up absolutely everything. All right, now we have to make a full giant metal vehicle that can hold the hammer. We'll put tank drive on it, and we'll build a giant hammer. So I'm just gonna whip something together real quick here off camera with some metal blocks. Obviously the vehicle itself is gonna be made out of real parts with all the logic, so it will be able to explode, but we're gonna make a massive hammer. So let's just whip together a tank drive vehicle here super quick, and through the power of editing, it will magically appear on this lift. Okay, perfect. The vehicle has appeared, and as you can see, it's a very functional vehicle. Now, we do use some math from the mod pack, which just makes our life a lot easier, and that gives us the ability to have this A and D controlled vehicle. So W moves it forward, S reverse, and A and D to rotate it left and right, using just 2 electric engines and a single set of bearings. It's a really nice tank drive system. In vanilla, you can't exactly do a tank drive with only a single bearing, but because we have that mod pack logic, it just makes it super convenient. Now, we've also got that sort of swinging mechanism in the middle there. That's going to be our hammer base. So let's just make that a little bit longer with these challenge parts. It is going to be a 2x2 handle. We're going to make this hammer rather large, and we're probably going to need a lot of weight on this base, and hopefully we can just drag it around. Now, we're going to use a smart engine, again, from the mod pack to swing that hammer forward and backwards. So let's just set up that circuit, and then we'll reinforce this thing with a lot of metal, make it super heavy, and we'll have to speed it up as well. So we've got a button here for the smart engine hammer. Now, what I want to do is have the smart engine automatically retract the hammer, and when you hit the button, it automatically swings it a lot harder than it retracts. So as soon as you let go of the button, it automatically starts retracting the hammer. And to do that, it's actually really easy. So we use a smart engine, because smart engines are awesome, and we hook that up to the hammer. We could probably hook it up to both bearings, although it doesn't really matter. We can just increase the power on one. We're going to control the speed, but this will paint black, and this gives us a customization of the power. So for starters, we'll set this to 100,000, and that should be more than enough to make sure it has enough power to lift the entire thing. And then we're going to feed it our speed value. So our speed value is painted white, and by default, we're going to give it a slow negative value. So it's always kind of retracting, if you know what I mean. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the default negative, so it's always going to be pushing down. And when we press 1, we're just going to multiply the button, which has a value of 1, by a value that's much greater than that -5, and add it to the speed, so it'll swing forward. So we've got -5 on the speed forward. Let's start with 100, let's say. Let's see what this does. So if you press 1, it swings forward really slow, and if we let go, you can see it auto retract. So it'll swing forward at 100 minus 5, which is 95. I don't know what that is, revs per minute maybe or something. But we need to speed this whole thing up. I mean, that's pretty good. That's fast. I don't think we want it too much faster, because we want to make sure the sensor, of course, in the hammer has time to react to spawn the explosives. But I think that's gonna be great. Oh, that's ridiculous. It's like a double slam effect. We almost need to put like downward thrusters on the hammer vehicle itself, so when you activate the hammer, it pushes the vehicle down with downwards thrusters all at the same time. And we'll just have them on really high power, and as soon as you hit the hammer button, they'll activate. So they won't activate unless you're holding the hammer button, and that'll just help keep the base down. So that way we don't have to have them on all the time. But we do like this. Oh, that's still, holy cow, that's still aggressive. All right, let's turn the front ones up more. And let's see what happens. Yeah, that's way better. A little bit of a kick, but I mean, not really that big of a deal. And then as soon as you let off, oh, that's perfect. All right, so we'll cover the rest of this up with some metal, and now we'll just build the rest of the hammer, and we should be good to go. So we've got 4 sensors now on the explosive hammer, and we've got 4 explosive spawners. Now, the only reason we're using 4 sensors is just so you can see we have a little bit more range across the width of the hammer. That way, if you accidentally hit something only on the one side, you don't have to hit it dead center. It'll still spawn all 4 explosives. So all 4 sensors feed into a single OR gate here, which then also goes through an AND gate, and then to the tick button back to the explosives. The AND gate is just so that you have to be holding the 1 button for the sensors to do anything. That way, if we're accidentally standing on the hammer like we are here, it doesn't do anything weird. But if we press 1, it spawns them all below the ground, and then, oh, okay, we are definitely... Okay, so it turns out I didn't have that saved on the lift, go figure, and that actually destroyed all the logic in the back. So I've reconnected all the logic, and I've also made a change with a little bit of a sensor here. So the thrusters will automatically activate as soon as the hammer is not in its resting position, which it is here. Now, I think what we need to do is slow down the swing speed. I think the swing speed is a little too fast, and because the swing speed is so fast, the explosives are spawning under the ground again. We need to slow it down so that the explosives have time to spawn above ground before the hammer hits. So I believe our retract speed is 100. So we're gonna set our swing speed to 100, 200, 300 maybe? I think we had it at 500 before. Let's see what this does, and let's go. Now it's still spawn them below the ground. Are our sensors not long enough range? Is that maybe the issue? They're at a max range of 20. Do we need to extend the sensor range to be like 30 or 40? We could blueprint edit this. Let's try decreasing the swing speed just a little bit. So let's go minus 100. I feel like this is gonna be really slow. That definitely works though now. Now it would actually smash stuff like a hammer. And you could just, you know, you could just smash anything you wanted. Oh, why didn't it work that time? Did we, oh, we blew up all the sensors. We blew up literally every sensor. They were all too close. Okay, so we have to move all the sensors back. It's really too bad that big sensor doesn't work, because if the big sensor worked, or at least worked the same way as these little sensors, it would be invincible, and then we could mount it right up to the surface and no problem. But this should be okay if we've got the sensors far enough back. We've got them all set to 20, of course, and we'll just paint that up. Perfect. So let's try this again. Swing speed. That's great, but it blew up all the sensors again. All right, so I've put reinforcements around the sensors. I don't think that's gonna make any difference because I feel like the explosive is just gonna go through it. It looks definitely a lot more like a hammer now. It's also a lot heavier. I feel like we might need some wheels. Let's see if we can actually still move. Oh no, we can. Okay, we just kind of drag it around, so that's not a big deal. And if we swing, it's a little bit heavier to go. And it definitely worked. Are our sensors still intact is the question. I don't think they are. No, you can see the holes where all 4 sensors are missing. All right, so I think I finally got this hammer to a kind of good position. I've got 25 range sensors on the bottom here. We've only got 2 of them, and we've increased the distance even further. So we're probably gonna have to move the hammer up. Yeah. Now, if we swing this hammer, because of the way the sensors are and the distance, it actually looks really, really good. So you can see right before it hits the ground, it kind of spawns the explosives in just the right timing. I think part of the problem with the sensors getting destroyed was because we were spawning the explosives too early and they were blowing up inside the hammer, but that looks really, really good. And we should be able to try blowing stuff up. So now if we try and line up our hammer, you know what? Let's save this real quick in case we accidentally do break something. And now we should be good to go to smash some stuff. So here we go. We'll try and line this up. I think it's pretty much right there. And awesome. Completely awesome. Are our sensors still intact? They are fantastic. Let's do it again. Hit it again. Die, car. Oh my god. That's so great. That's so good. We could just smash this car until nothing exists. And that car doesn't have any cardboard on it or anything like that. Like, that's concrete, glass. This hammer just destroys everything. It's amazing. Look, we can even clean up some of the wreckage with it. Oh. That one screwed up. It's fine. You know what? It's good enough. Let's just find something to smash. So I wonder what I have that's actually worth smashing. We've got a giant hovering ship. I mean, that would definitely get smashed. We've got a blimp too. That's too laggy. Let's see if this ship is too laggy. You know what? It's a little bit laggy. Maybe we'll just we'll start it off by dropping it onto 1 explosive. Okay, that didn't. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, it's definitely, you know what, maybe we'll put this up on the lift. Yeah, it's just because it's in contact with the ground a little bit too much. So let's just give it a prop bar. All right, so let's just smash this ship apart. Welcome to Khan's Wrecking Yard. We'll just line up here and give it a good old whack to the face. Boom. Oh, okay, that didn't do nearly as much as I thought it was gonna do. Let's try this again. It's definitely laggy. You can tell as soon as the explosives spawn, there's a little bit of lag. This is awesome, though. We're just kind of dropping them in now. Those ones didn't actually hit anything. That was great. All right, perfect. We got rid of like 99% of the lag there now. You can see the problem is if the hammer gets caught on part of the ship and doesn't actually hit the explosives, it doesn't detonate them right away, and they kind of have this delay. See, that one was pretty good. As long as your hammer hits one of the explosives right when it spawns, then they actually detonate. I mean, we could probably do some crazy system with spud guns to make this work a little bit better. Oh, Boy, that was bad. That was bad. It's hard to get these little thin structures because the hammer only spawns on the... Did it just spawn a bunch of them that didn't blow up? That's great. Awesome. It's definitely better at hitting large, flat objects compared to this exoskeleton structure stuff. You can see it's, you know, stuff on the ground too, pretty decent at. This is such an awesome build, though. I mean, just smashing stuff with the hammer. Look at all the parts everywhere. We're just breaking everything. And we can actually just, when it's up, we can still bring it back down for another hit. And we can just, you know, keep holding it. Look at that. Perfect. Another hit. Oh, this is amazing. We destroyed that whole ship. There's, like, nothing left. Just parts on the ground. What a stupid build. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know if there is a fix to that sensor problem where the sensors keep blowing up. I'd love to have invincible sensors that are mounted right on the surface of the hammer. It would be a lot easier and we wouldn't need nearly as bulky a hammer. But this build is just great. I mean, it's just so silly. We need more stuff to smash. Let's smash something else. All right, we're just gonna destroy this plane. Oh God, it's so laggy. Did it spawn? It spawned the explosives in the hammer. Oh my goodness, there's explosives inside the hammer. Oh, we're dead. We're so dead. All right, so lesson learned, don't use the explosive hammer when the game is super laggy. Let me know what you guys think of this build in the comments down below. I am gonna destroy this car here because it just seems super awesome and I really wanna see what happens. But let me know if there's a way you guys think we can fix the sensors. And of course, you can check this out on the workshop. But here we go. Let's see what happens. One hit, destroy the whole car. Pretty much. Forgot to turn off the engines. Is it gonna get stuck? It's just gonna keep driving in circles. Get stuck on the tree. Yeah, let's go wreck it again. Oh, no. No, it's definitely running away. This hammer is not that fast. Oh, perfect, perfect. It got stuck. Amazing. All right. Uh-oh. That one wasn't good. All right, doesn't matter. It's completely gone. And here we go. Boom! Oh, that was a great one. Direct hit. Amazing. It's so much destruction. It's just absolutely awesome. But definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. While you're at it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What other cool builds do you think we could do with explosives? I really just wanted to build a giant hammer because I feel like, you know, Scrap Mechanic needs a giant hammer. And it works kind of with explosives. But you can see, even then, we just blew up a sensor. So now we only have one of the two. So I'd love to know if there's a solution for that. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And we'll see y'all next time.